Good morning. It's about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. uh, and yeah, I just had the most vivid dream. Now, most of the time when I have dreams like this and I wake up and they seem so real, they seem so interesting, and then after I think about them, they either fade away from my memory or I realize that they're absolute nonsense. So, but I was really struck by this dream, so I just wanted to. I'm not even sure I'm going to make sense, but I wanted to record this quick video just to sort of kind of capture what I remember, and then I'm going to come back and watch it again and look at my thoughts and see if there might be the germ of a really good idea to actually do something from this dream. Anyway, let me try to describe it as much as I can remember it. So the gist of it was I was traveling someplace, I was visiting a campus of some sort. And on this campus, I was being led by a group of folks that were showing me various spots, various memorials that had been created to honor certain people. And each memorial had, some beautiful sculpture or some beautiful architectural aspect. Some of them had lights, and different kind of lighting. It was really beautiful, beautiful scenes. And what was interesting is that I stopped by one memorial site. Okay, and these are all dedicated to certain important people. I don't remember who they were. It doesn't. But what was interesting is one of these sites, there was some music playing in the background. Okay, it was kind of very nice, kind of atmospheric. Not really, just more like sonic wallpaper. Not really music in terms of melody and a composition per se, but it's just more like just background sort of sounds. But it was kind of nice, just gentle chords, kind of waves of sound here and there, and. Remember kind of admiring the space, and within about 2-3 minutes the song, if you want to call it, was done, and it just kind of cycled over again, just repeated itself. And I remember thinking that, boy, that's, isn't that a shame that everything else, all the aspects of this person's life has been so beautifully captured, but the music is so bland, there's just nothing there. And I thought, shouldn't the music tell the story, of this person's life and character and something? I was getting so excited. I was sharing the idea with I guess it was a committee of some sort. They just wanted to get my ideas on how to, they had already spent all this money on these memorials, but I said, listen, I think you're missing in a very, very important aspect of this experience, is that the music itself can tell a person's emotional story, emotional background, and wouldn't it be wonderful if we could write symphonies for each of the people that you're trying to memorialize, and those symphonies could capture the essence of that person's character, the person's struggles, the person's life journey, and so that, and I think there was some shopkeeper or something. I was, pointing to some local shops nearby. I mean, if I had a shop here and I had to listen to this song, the same song ad nauseum every day, I'd go crazy. It'd bore me to tears, But isn't it interesting that we can listen to Beethoven's Ninth Symphony? We can listen to the same recording over and over, and we never get tired of hearing that symphony, that majestic masterpiece. We can hear. There are certain masterpieces of music that we can hear over and over again, but they have such depth to them that we never get tired of hearing that. Or that's what I said, at least in the dream. But if the musical content had, it's really like being able to experience a novel. And of course, in my dream, the committee got all excited and thought it would be a great idea to revisit these memorials and breathe new life into them by commissioning symphonies written to not just to memorialize, but also to kind of retell each person's story in a musical manner. It just got me thinking, because one of the things I've been really trying to think through is as a new idea of how to create an experience for everyday people, just regular folks, but that could incorporate some of the experiences that I've enjoyed, the experiences of traveling to interesting locations, music, of course, being a language that I can express my feelings and my personal story through. I wish so much that I could find a way to help other folks experience some of those things, and I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there. I don't know if this is practical, makes any sense, but what if there was a kind of a retreat where people were invited not to just listen to music, but were invited to tell their stories, to share who they are, to explore their backstories, their history, their what they have, who they are, and could work in collaboration with musicians, creative musicians, who could take elements of these people's stories and craft. I'm not going to say symphonies, but at least short musical compositions that tell that person's story. And what that would involve would be, of course, helping folks to open their ears to really hear what music can say and how it can express that, and just be this amazing creative dialogue between regular ordinary people, and musicians, learning, interpreting their story and the going back and forth and finding ways to open up dialogue, to open up. It's therapeutic. It's maybe not a whole backstory, but maybe we could focus on like certain incidents, incidents of joy or loss or tragedy or struggle, and explore how musical language. Maybe we have a series of examples of musical language, expressing various emotional states and how different people have done that to tell various stories of one kind or another, and then teaching musicians to listen, and teaching musicians to create, and teaching regular people to listen, and just thinking that could be such an interesting experience, an interesting retreat on both sides, for creatives and for regular folks who want to memorialize, encapsulate, express, work through, things. I don't know. It's just I got very excited at the idea that creating personal symphonies, and I don't mean 30-minute, 40-minute symphonies, but even a 2-3-minute symphony, creating personal symphonies, and what would that kind of a retreat look like? What would that kind of experience look like? And it could be, I don't know, maybe it's pie in the sky, but I'm looking for ways of connecting music with personal stories, with finding ways to really help folks see why the arts are so necessary to work through internal issues, to work through personal stories and even tragedies, struggles, and how the musical language can be so powerful as a healing tool, as an expressive tool, as a storytelling tool, because we all have our stories, and we all yearn to be heard, all yearn to be recognized for the stories that we have, good or bad, and anyway, so that was my dream, and it just led to some aha thoughts. I come to this a few days later and think, it's not going to work. But maybe there's a germ to this. So I just wanted to kind of capture this moment, so let's see if this might be the start of something interesting.